Hello everybody and welcome to your next technique from AGS Success. Hopefully this one will be just up your street in order to make your revision become a lot more productive and a lot more proactive. Okay, before we actually go on to the technique, we must remind ourselves of the mantra that goes through all of our AGS Success program, which is the idea that purposeful practice makes perfect. So that if we want to become perfect and expert at something, we must obviously practice, but it's got to be purposeful and focused. And for this particular technique, it's really important to take into account this quotation, the idea that success comes from effort plus strategies plus help from others. So AGS Success is trying our best to give you as many strategies as possible so that you can choose the best that works for you. And as long as you put in the right amount of effort, and in this instance ask for and gain help from others, then you will ultimately be incredibly successful in your exams and in anything that you're trying to learn. One of the things we sometimes can slip into when we're revising is to just keep reading over subject material time and time again. That's obviously crucial. It's so important that we digest and take on board the things that we need to learn through reading of our notes, etc. However, in order to do this, you have to become an active reader. And in this instance, the idea of being an active reader means doing something with the stuff that you're actually reading. So not just passively sitting back and taking things in. Not many of us can do that. Not many of us are lucky enough to be able to just take in the things that we read, but actually doing something with it. So reproducing or recreating things with the stuff that we've read so that ultimately it stinks in, and more importantly, it sticks, so that when we're in that exam, we've got something we can actually rely upon. Okay then, the good thing about Read and Quiz also is that actually it can become a shared responsibility. We all know that revision sometimes can feel very lonely, but we don't want you necessarily to always just lock yourself away in your room upstairs. It's very important, like we said from the beginning, that we need to put effort and get strategies through the help of others sometimes. So this revision technique, Read and Quiz, which comes from the Kagan Company, is done in pairs. So it's very important that when you go back to your timetable, that you actually timetable some joint revision sessions with your friends and your peers so that we can be successful with the help of others. Now the beauty with Read and Quiz is that actually if you follow these simple rules that are before you now, you'll be guaranteed success. So in a nutshell, you pair up with a friend, you label yourselves A and B. Person A reads the material being revised out loud and person B listens. It's very important that person A reads it out loud because that in itself can make your memory and your brain actually trigger and hold on to the information more. Once person A has finished reading aloud, that person then quizzes person B on what they've just listened to by asking simple questions or asking to go over some of the information. So simple questions such as injuries are common in sport, what is meant by a sprain, is posed by person A for person B to answer. Person B answers the question and then the process continues. If person B answers correctly, person A gives them lots of praise, and if person B answers incorrectly, person A provides the correct answer, referring person B to the appropriate part of the text where they will find the correct answer next time. That then obviously becomes person B's target for revision for next time, so they highlight that. And next round of reading aloud and reading and quizzing, you just got to make a point of making sure that you go over the bits that you got wrong in the first time. You then simply swap and repeat. So you label up, you read aloud, the person who's listened gets asked some questions, and then the process just continues. And it really is as simple as that. Okay, very similar to Read and Quiz, we then have Read and Tell. But this time, you don't just answer a question, but you write bullet notes for everything that you listen to and then read aloud the summary. So this is taking the revision a little bit further. You're listening now, and then you're actively, as you're listening, making notes in whatever form's best for you to make sure that you are reproducing and recreating that revision. So in a nutshell, person A reads the material revised aloud. Person B listens and makes bullet notes or a mind map. Person B then reads back the summary of what they've just listened to. Person A and B compare notes and discuss. Then you swap roles and repeat. Job's a good one. Simples. So read and quiz and read and tell are quite simple, straightforward concepts to make sure that that revision is productive and productive. And remember that this idea that we must make sure that we're doing everything that we possibly can to make sure that we perform at our very, very best. And this quotation just hopefully allows us to think about that a little bit more. So as you're practicing revising, absolutely go for it as if you haven't yet won something. But then once you're actually in that exam hall, you're going to perform like you've never lost. You're going to be so confident because of the techniques you've been using that you are 100% going to do this. So read and quiz and read and tell is your perfect way to timetable a joint revision session and to make it successful by joining together and giving yourself something really productive to do. Thank you very much for listening and take care.